The stars blinked out one by one, swallowed by the vast shadow that loomed over the wormhole crossroad. Captain Mira Ashford gripped the edge of her console, her heart pounding as alarms blared through the deck of the USS Audacity. The rogue planet had arrived, and with it, an alien presence that sought to bend human will to its own. A wave of shimmering iridescence cascaded through the void, a psychic assault meant to subdue and control. "Brace yourselves, mind wave incoming," shouted Lieutenant Harris from the communications panel, his voice cutting through the cacophony. But contrary to the aliens' calculations, the humans did not falter. Mira felt the pressure against her mind, a force like 1,000 whispers trying to worm their way into her thoughts, but she remained unbowed. Around her, the crew mirrored her resistance, their expressions set with determination. "Captain," Harris called, his voice steady, "it's not working." Mira allowed herself a brief smile. The aliens, confident in their superiority, had underestimated the resilience born from humanity's chaotic spirits and willful defiance. The rogue planet drifted closer, its surface crackling with energy. A portal opened in the shimmering mass, revealing a wormhole crossroads bustling with alien vessels, a nexus of interstellar travel. "They're regrouping," Mira said, scanning the vast array of alien ships. "We need to make a move before they try something else. Target the planet's energy core," Harris suggested, eyes bright with the spark of an idea. "We can use its own power against them." Mira nodded, prepared to launch. As the crew set to work, the Audacity hummed with the electricity of purpose. The humans had faced the mind wave and emerged unscathed. Now it was their turn to strike. The ship surged forward, a beacon of defiance against the shadow that sought to consume them. In the heart of the control room, Mira steeled herself for the coming clash. The aliens believed they could control humanity, but they had awakened a force they hadn't anticipated. The battle for the crossroads had begun, and humanity was ready to rise. "Engage," Mira commanded, and the Audacity leapt into action as the rogue planet loomed large, the fate of the crossroads hanging in the balance. The command deck of the UNS Aurora was a symphony of activity, every crew member performing their part in a choreographed dance of urgency and precision. The rogue planet, which had appeared like a thief in the night on the edge of humanity's star maps, was now a looming threat, its gravitational pull threatening to destabilize the orbits of nearby colonies. Commander Elena Vasquez stood at the helm, her calm demeanor belying the storm of thoughts racing through her mind. "Status report," she called out, her voice cutting through the hum of machinery and hushed conversations. Lieutenant Raj Patel, the ship's astrogator, glanced up from his console, a sheen of sweat on his brow. "The planet's trajectory remains unchanged, Commander. It's on a collision course with the Theta 7 colony. Estimated impact in 24 hours. Vasquez nodded, acknowledging the weight of the situation. Theta 7 was a burgeoning outpost, its settlers pioneers of the new frontier. They had carved a life out of the barren soil, a testament to human resilience and determination. She couldn't let that be snuffed out. "We need to find a way to alter its course," she declared, turning to her chief engineer, Lieutenant Commander Mei Chen. "Can we utilize the Aurora's engines to create a gravitational counterforce?" Chen, ever the pragmatist, shook her head. "Not with the power we have. The planet's mass is too great for us to effectively divert it with our current resources." Commander Vasquez pursed her lips, considering the options. They had to think outside the box, use human ingenuity to overcome what seemed like insurmountable odds. Her mind flickered back to the myriad tales of humanity's spirit, the ability to face the unfathomable and emerge victorious. Could we use the mining lasers to create a series of controlled blasts on the planet's surface? Vasquez suggested, eyes narrowing as she assessed the risk. It might create enough of a force to nudge its path. Chen's eyes lit up at the idea. "It's a long shot, but it's possible. We'd need precise calculations to ensure the blasts are synchronized perfectly. Otherwise, we risk doing more harm than good." "Get a team on it," Vasquez ordered. "Raj, coordinate with Chen. We need those vectors plotted." And get me a comm link to THETA-7. I want them prepared for evacuation if necessary. As the crew sprang into action, Vasquez felt a surge of pride. Every member of her team was a testament to what humanity could achieve. This was their moment to shine, to prove once again that humans were more than mere inhabitants of the cosmos, they were its stewards. In the communications hub, Ensign Mara Lopez was already patching through to the colony, her fingers a blur over the control panel. Static crackled, followed by the voice of Governor Lars Jensen, fraught with tension. "Governor Jensen, this is Commander Vasquez of the UNS Aurora," she began, her tone steady. "We're aware of your situation and are working on a plan to alter the rogue planet's course. I need you to prepare for a potential evacuation." There was a pause, the weight of the message settling over the comm link. "Understood, Commander," Jensen replied, his voice carrying the grit of a man who had faced adversity before. "We'll start mobilizing the settlers. I trust you to do everything you can." "Count on it, Governor. We'll keep you updated," Vasquez assured him, before nodding to Lopez to end the transmission. As plans were laid and calculations refined, time seemed to stretch and compress in equal measure. The Aurora's crew worked tirelessly, driven by the knowledge that the lives of thousands hung in the balance. Vasquez prowled the deck like a lioness, offering words of encouragement and wisdom, a pillar of strength for her team. In the engineering bay, Chen and her team were deep in the throes of preparation, assembling equipment and running simulations. Patel was a constant presence, feeding data into the ship's computer and refining trajectories with relentless precision. "Commander," Chen called over the comm, her voice edged with urgency. "We're ready to begin the operation. All systems are go." "Excellent work, Lieutenant Commander," Vasquez replied, a flicker of hope lighting in her chest. "Let's get this done." The Aurora maneuvered into position, its engines humming with latent power. The mining lasers, formidable tools of industry, were now repurposed for an entirely different kind of task. As the countdown began, the crew held their collective breath, the enormity of the moment pressing down on them. "Initiate sequence," Vasquez ordered, her gaze fixed on the viewscreen, where the rogue planet loomed like a dark specter against the stars. The lasers fired in a dazzling display of precision, beams of light carving into the planet's surface with surgical accuracy. Explosions rippled across the terrain, each one a calculated attempt to alter destiny. The Aurora shuddered with the effort, her systems stretched to their limits. As the last detonation echoed through the void, a tense silence descended. Patel's eyes were glued to his monitors, tracking the planet's response with bated breath. "Trajectory is shifting," he announced, his voice a lifeline in the uncertainty. "It's working." A ragged cheer erupted from the crew, the relief palpable. Vasquez allowed herself a small smile, though she knew their work was far from over. They had bought time, but the path was still perilously close. "We need to maintain this course correction," she reminded them. "Chen, prepare for another round if necessary." But before Chen could respond, the ship's alarms blared, the ominous sound reverberating through the corridors. "Incoming object detected," Patel reported, his expression one of disbelief. "It's a fleet of unknown origin, vectoring in at high speed." Vasquez's heart sank, an unexpected complication at a critical juncture. On screen, she commanded, turning her attention to the viewscreen. The sight that greeted them was unlike anything they had encountered before. Sleek, angular ships, their surfaces glinting with alien technology, darted through the void like predatory fish. They moved with an eerie synchronicity, a testament to a collective will. "Identify them," Vasquez ordered, though she already suspected the truth. Lopez's fingers danced across her console, her eyes wide with disbelief. "Commander, it's them, the Serathum." A murmur of apprehension swept through the crew. The Serathum were a shadowy enigma, rumored to be the architects of cosmic upheaval. Their motives were inscrutable, their actions swift and ruthless. Vasquez's mind raced, her thoughts crystallizing around a single grim realization. The rogue planet was not a natural phenomenon. It was a weapon, a tool of destruction wielded by an unseen hand. Weapons to full, she ordered, her voice steely. Prepare for evasive maneuvers. We must protect Theta 7 at all costs. The Aurora's systems flared to life, her armaments primed and ready. The crew steeled themselves for the coming battle, their resolve unyielding. They were humanity's shield, the first line of defense against a foe that threatened to unravel the fragile threads of peace. As the Serathum ships closed in, Vasquez felt a fierce determination welling within her. This was what they were meant for, why they had ventured into the cosmos. To stand firm in the face of overwhelming odds, to protect those who could not protect themselves. The first volley of energy weapons streaked through space, a brilliant cascade of light and fury. The Aurora danced through the onslaught, her shields flaring as they absorbed the impact. The crew responded in kind, their own weapon systems retaliating with precision and ferocity. Keep them at bay, Vasquez urged, her focus unwavering. We need to buy time for the colony to evacuate. The battle unfolded in a series of breathtaking maneuvers, each side testing the other's limits. The Serathum were relentless, their tactics a testament to their advanced technology. But the humans had something more, a tenacity born of necessity, a fire that burned bright and fierce. Through the chaos, Vasquez coordinated her team with the skill of a maestro, her commands clear and decisive. Every decision was a gamble, every action a step closer to victory or defeat. In the midst of the fray, a new voice crackled over the comms, a beacon of hope in the darkness. This is the UNS Resolute, Captain Jameson commanding. We're here to assist. Relief flowed through Vasquez, a lifeline thrown in their hour of need. The Resolute, a sister ship, had arrived just in time, her guns blazing as she joined the fray. Together, the two ships wove a tapestry of defiance, their combined firepower a testament to human unity. The Serathum, taken aback by the unexpected resistance, faltered, their formations breaking under the relentless assault. We're driving them back, Lopez reported, her voice tinged with disbelief and triumph. But even as victory seemed within reach, the rogue planet loomed ever closer, its path still a threat to Theta 7. The battle was a distraction, the true danger still imminent. Focus on the planet, Vasquez ordered, her mind shifting back to their original mission. We need to ensure it's diverted completely. Chen, ever resourceful, had already anticipated the command. I've recalibrated the lasers, she announced, her fingers flying over her console. Ready for another attempt. Do it, Vasquez commanded, her heart pounding with urgency. The second barrage of laser fire lit up the void, the Aurora straining under the effort. Every crew member held their breath, watching the planet's trajectory with a mix of hope and fear. And then, slowly, perceptibly, the impossible happened. The rogue planet shifted, its path bending away from Theta 7, diverted at the last possible moment. A cheer erupted throughout the ship, the sound a cathartic release of tension and relief. The danger had passed, the colony saved by the slimmest of margins. As the Serathum ships retreated, the Aurora and Resolute stood vigilant, their crews united in purpose and resolve. They had faced the unknown and emerged victorious, a testament to the indomitable spirit of humanity. Vasquez allowed herself a moment of reflection, her gaze sweeping over her crew, each face a reminder of what they had achieved together. They had faced the darkness and found the light, a beacon of hope in a galaxy fraught with uncertainty. But even as the immediate threat faded, Vasquez knew the battle was far from over. The Serathum had shown their hand, revealing a new dimension to the cosmic chessboard. Humanity would need to adapt, to evolve, if they were to survive the challenges ahead. Yet for now, they had won a reprieve, a moment to regroup and prepare for what lay beyond the stars. Vasquez stood at the helm, her heart filled with pride and determination. This was their legacy, their testament to the universe, and they would not falter. The rogue planet loomed in the black abyss of space, a harbinger of doom streaked with phosphorescent bands of light that pulsed with a malevolent rhythm. It was not alone in its journey through the void. Its presence heralded the emergence of a mysterious mind control wave that had begun to seep into the fabric of human existence. Earth was in crisis, its inhabitants caught in the throes of a force that sought to enslave their very consciousness. The alien influence, a wave of psychic energy that rippled silently across the cosmos, was unlike anything humanity had ever encountered. It was as if the very soul of the rogue planet reached out with tendrils of thought, probing and manipulating the minds of those it touched. And yet, inexplicably, humans resisted. Where other species had succumbed, humanity stood precariously on the brink, teetering but unyielding. In the command center of the hastily constructed Earth Defense Coalition, Commander Elena Ramirez stood at the helm, her resolve unwavering as her fingers danced across the holographic interface. The room buzzed with the frenetic energy of hundreds of people engaged in a singular mission: to understand and counteract the alien mind control wave before it could tighten its grip. "Commander, the wave's intensity is increasing," reported Dr. Akira Nakamura, the leading neuroscientist on the team. His voice carried the weight of deep concern, yet his eyes glimmered with the stubborn determination that had come to define humanity's struggle. "We need more data, Akira," Elena replied, her voice firm yet laced with an undercurrent of strain. "What are we missing? Why are we still resisting when others have fallen?" Akira adjusted his glasses, a habit that betrayed his inner need to order his thoughts. "The wave operates on frequencies alien to our understanding, but preliminary scans suggest a link to our neural pathways. It's almost as if it's trying to synchronize with our brainwaves." Elena nodded, processing the information with the speed of a strategist under fire. "But why haven't we succumbed? What makes us different?" Akira hesitated, a flicker of uncertainty crossing his features. "I'm not entirely sure. If humans have some form of inherent resistance, it's buried deep within our genetic code, or perhaps something more abstract." Elena's gaze swept across the command center, settling on the image of the rogue planet displayed on the main screen. "We need to find that answer, Akira. We're running out of time." Outside the command center, the world was a tapestry of chaos and resilience, a paradox where civilization teetered on the brink of collapse, yet people from all walks of life banded together, demonstrating the indomitable spirit that defined their species. It was this spirit that became the cornerstone of humanity's fight. In the streets, where fear and confusion threatened to unravel the social fabric, ordinary citizens rose to extraordinary challenges. Volunteers organized makeshift shelters and distributed supplies, their faces weary but determined. Among them was Lieutenant Marcus Chen, a field officer tasked with maintaining order and morale. Marcus had always been a man of action, driven by a deep-seated belief in the potential of humanity. As he coordinated efforts from the ground, his thoughts drifted to his younger sister, May, a brilliant astrophysicist who had dedicated her life to studying the cosmos. She was somewhere out there, working tirelessly to unravel the mysteries of the rogue planet. "Stay strong," he murmured, more to himself than anyone else, as he watched a group of children huddled together, their wide eyes reflecting both fear and hope. Back in the command center, a new complication presented itself. The rogue planet's trajectory had shifted, suggesting an intelligence behind its path. Elena's brow furrowed as she analyzed the data overlay. "Commander," Akira called out, "we've detected a secondary wave, an amplification of the original mind control signal. It's more focused, more precise." Elena's heart sank, the implications clear. "They're adapting, targeting us specifically." The room fell silent, save for the hum of computers and the steady rhythm of Elena's breathing. It was a moment of apparent hopelessness, a deepening of the crisis that threatened to overwhelm even the most steadfast. And yet, amidst the encroaching despair, there emerged a spark of defiance, a whisper of human potential not yet fully realized. Elena's gaze found Akira's, a silent communion of understanding passing between them. "We need to turn this around," Elena declared, her voice carrying the weight of unyielding resolve. "We need to find a way to disrupt their wave, to protect humanity's mind." With renewed vigor, the team set to work, exploring unconventional avenues of science and technology, searching desperately for the key to their survival. The pressure was mounting, the odds stacked against them, but the human spirit was a force of nature that refused to be extinguished. In the depths of space, as the rogue planet drew closer, Mei Chen worked tirelessly aboard the research vessel Intrepid, her mind a whirlwind of calculations and hypotheses. She had always been fascinated by the mysteries of the universe, but the current crisis had elevated her work to a matter of survival. Mei was close to a breakthrough. She could feel it in the marrow of her bones. Her brother's words echoed in her mind, a mantra of strength and perseverance. Stay strong. As she delved deeper into her research, a realization crystallized, a potential vulnerability in the alien wave, a resonance that might be exploited. But the path forward was fraught with danger, the consequences of failure catastrophic. Back on Earth, Marcus received an urgent message from the command center, a summons that filled him with both dread and determination. He made his way through the bustling streets, the faces of his fellow humans a mosaic of courage and fear. When he arrived, the gravity of the situation hit him with full force. Elena and Akira briefed him on the latest developments, their words weaving a narrative of desperation and hope. "We need to deploy a signal jammer," Akira explained, his voice steady despite the enormity of the task. "If we can disrupt the synchronization process, we might buy ourselves more time." Marcus nodded, his mind racing with possibilities. "And what about May? Does she have any new insights?" Elena's eyes softened, a glimmer of hope amidst the storm. "She's working on something, an idea that could shift the balance. But it's risky." Risk was a constant companion in their line of work, a shadow that followed them even in moments of triumph. Marcus understood this all too well, yet his faith in his sister's brilliance was unwavering. "Let's do it," he said, his voice infused with the unyielding spirit that had come to define their struggle. Whatever it takes. The plan, audacious in its simplicity, required a coordinated effort across the globe. As night fell, casting the planet in a shroud of uncertainty, humanity rallied, a chorus of voices united in purpose and resolve. In the command center, Elena watched as the pieces fell into place, each action a testament to the enduring strength of the human spirit. She thought of all they had endured, the sacrifices and struggles that had brought them to this moment. "We're not alone," she said softly, her words carrying a profound truth. "As long as we stand together, we have a chance." The rogue planet, a celestial enigma cloaked in darkness, drew ever closer, its presence a constant reminder of the challenge that lay ahead. Yet even as the alien mind control wave intensified, humanity's defiance burned brightly, a beacon of hope in the vast expanse of space. And as the world held its breath, waiting for the outcome of their efforts, the true scope of human potential remained tantalizingly out of reach, an untapped wellspring of resilience and ingenuity poised to change the course of history. In this moment, the fate of humanity hung in the balance, a fragile thread woven with the courage and conviction of countless individuals who refused to surrender to the darkness. It was a testament to a truth as ancient as the stars themselves, that even in the face of overwhelming odds, the human spirit was an indomitable force, a light that could never be extinguished. The rogue planet loomed on the horizon, a cold, dark menace against the backdrop of stars. The crew of the ISS Peregrine watched it approach with a mix of awe and trepidation. For Captain Elena Vasquez, the sight was a grim reminder of their mission's stakes. The mission had taken an unexpected turn when the rogue planet's gravitational pull had ensnared them, forcing the Peregrine into a rapid orbital realignment to avoid catastrophic collision. "Status report, Lieutenant," Elena demanded, her voice steady despite the anxiety gnawing at her insides. Lieutenant Camara's fingers danced over the control panel. "Stabilizing, Captain, but our trajectory is still being pulled off course. The rogue's gravity is stronger than anticipated. We're going to need to burn more fuel to counteract it." "More fuel," Elena muttered under her breath, a knot forming in her stomach. Their reserves were already running low after the unexpected maneuvering. We need another solution. Ideas? The crew exchanged glances, the weight of the situation pressing down on them. Dr. Marcus Lee, their astrophysicist, leaned forward, a determined light in his eyes. What if we use the rogue planet's gravity to slingshot us around? It would mean another risky maneuver, but it could save us both time and fuel. Elena nodded, considering. We'll need precise calculations. Kamara, can you handle that? Already on it, Kamara replied, her fingers moving with renewed urgency. As the crew worked, the ship shuddered under the strain of increasing gravitational forces. Elena clenched her fists, willing herself to remain calm. They'd faced dire situations before, but this felt different, more personal. The rogue planet wasn't just a celestial obstacle. It was a force of nature that seemed to challenge every ounce of their humanity. The comm panel crackled to life, interrupting her thoughts. Captain, this is Ensign Jiro in engineering. We've got a problem with the stabilizers. The power draw from the thrusters is causing a critical overload. Elena's heart sank. How long before they fail? Minutes, if that. Jiro's voice was tense, a thin thread of fear weaving through his words. Understood. Do what you can to reinforce them, Elena ordered. We can't afford to lose control now. As Jiro signed off, Elena felt the weight of responsibility settle heavily on her shoulders. The lives of her crew depended on every decision she made, every order she gave. And as they hurtled toward the rogue planet, the margin for error grew vanishingly thin. Captain, Marcus spoke up, breaking the tense silence. We could try redistributing power from non-essential systems to the stabilizers. It won't fix the problem entirely, but it might buy us some time. Elena nodded. Do it, Kamara. How are the calculations coming? Almost there, Captain, Kamara replied, her voice determined. But the window for the slingshot maneuver is closing fast. Then we have no choice, Elena said, her resolve hardening. Prepare for the slingshot. We do this now, or we don't make it at all. The crew moved with a unified purpose, their actions a testament to their training and resilience. As the Peregrine initiated its turn, the ship groaned under the strain, the rogue planet's gravity threatening to tear it apart. Elena gripped her armrests, her knuckles white with tension. The darkness outside the viewing port was absolute, the rogue planet a void that seemed to swallow light itself. Elena felt a primal fear coil in her gut, but she forced it down, focusing instead on the rhythmic hum of the ship, the steady beat of her own heart. We're in position, Kamara announced, her voice a lifeline in the chaos. Engaging slingshot in 3, 2, 1. The Peregrine surged forward, the rogue planet's gravity propelling them at incredible speed. For a moment, it felt as though they were suspended in time, caught in the gravitational dance of celestial bodies. Then, with a lurch, they broke free, catapulted back into the vastness of space. Relief washed over Elena, but it was short-lived. The ship's systems were still critical, the stabilizers barely holding together. And as the rogue planet receded, a new alarm sounded, its shrill tone cutting through the air like a knife. Captain, we've got a hull breach in Section C. Jiro's voice came through again, strained and urgent. Meteorite debris, likely from the rogue's gravitational disturbance. Elena cursed under her breath. Seal it off and initiate repairs. We can't afford to lose atmosphere. But even as she gave the order, she knew they were running out of options. Resources were dwindling, and the crew's nerves were fraying. The rogue planet might have been behind them, but its shadow loomed large, an ever-present reminder of the fragility of their existence. Captain, Marcus said, breaking through her thoughts once more. I've been thinking. The rogue planet's trajectory might intersect with a debris field. If we can map its path, we might find a way to use the debris to our advantage, maybe even refuel in some unconventional way. Elena turned to him, a spark of hope flaring in her chest. How would we do that? Marcus hesitated, then continued, his voice filled with conviction. We could use drones to collect and process the debris. It would take some creative engineering, but if we can convert it into usable energy, it might be enough to get us back on course. The idea was audacious, bordering on reckless, but it was the kind of thinking they needed: innovative, resourceful, human. Elena felt a surge of pride in her crew, their ability to adapt and persevere in the face of impossible odds. "Let's make it happen," she said, determination etched into every word. "Kamara, Marcus, coordinate with Jiro and get those drones operational. We're not out of this yet." As the crew set to work, Elena allowed herself a moment to breathe, to absorb the enormity of their situation. They were a tiny speck in the vast expanse of space, pitted against forces far beyond their control. And yet, it was in these moments of trial that humanity's true strength emerged. The Peregrine's drones launched into the void, their sleek forms gliding through the darkness toward the debris field. They moved with purpose, guided by the hands and minds of their creators. As they began their task, Elena marveled at the ingenuity of her team, their ability to find solutions where others might see only insurmountable obstacles. Time stretched on, each minute an eternity as the crew awaited the drone's return. The ship's systems held, but just barely, and Elena knew they couldn't afford another setback. The atmosphere in the cabin was tense, a fragile thread connecting them all. "Captain," Kamara's voice broke the silence, tinged with excitement and relief. "The drones have collected enough debris. We're ready to begin the conversion process." Elena's heart soared. "Proceed. Let's see if we can turn this around." The crew watched with bated breath as the drones delivered their payload. The debris fed into the ship's processing systems. It was a calculated risk, a gamble with their lives as the stakes. But it was also a testament to their perseverance, their refusal to accept defeat. Minutes passed, each one a silent prayer to the gods of science and ingenuity. Then, with a hum of energy, the ship's systems flared to life, the power levels stabilizing, the stabilizers holding firm. "We did it," Marcus breathed, disbelief and joy warring in his voice. "We're back on course." Elena allowed herself a smile, a small victory in the face of overwhelming odds. But even as relief washed over her, a new alarm sounded, its insistent blare shattering the fragile peace. "Captain," Jiro's voice came through the comm, filled with urgency. "We've detected a massive energy surge from the rogue planet. It looks like a magnetic storm heading straight for us." The stakes had never been higher, the danger more immediate. Elena felt the weight of the moment, the knowledge that their survival depended on their ability to adapt, to face the storm with courage and resolve. "All hands, brace for impact," she ordered, her voice steady, unyielding. "We'll get through this, together." As the storm approached, the crew of the ISS Peregrine stood united, a testament to the indomitable spirit of humanity. They were a light in the darkness, a beacon of hope against the vast, uncaring void. And though the future was uncertain, one thing remained clear: they would not go quietly into the night. The storm hit with a ferocity that defied comprehension, the ship buffeted by waves of magnetic energy. Systems flickered, alarms blared, and the crew fought to maintain control. It was a test of their resolve, a crucible that would either break them or forge them anew. The darkness outside was absolute, the rogue planet an ever-present shadow that seemed to mock their efforts. Yet, in the heart of the storm, Elena found strength, not in the certainty of survival, but in the certainty of their purpose. "Hold the line, people," she urged, her voice cutting through the chaos. "We're not done yet." The crew rallied, their determination a force unto itself. They adapted, improvised, and overcame, each action a testament to their resilience. It was a dance of survival, a symphony of human ingenuity in the face of insurmountable odds. And as the storm raged on, a new understanding dawned. It wasn't just about the rogue planet, the magnetic storm, or the debris field. It was about the spirit of exploration, the drive to push boundaries and defy the impossible. The crew of the Peregrine faced their darkest moment, but they did so with a light that refused to be extinguished. They were human, flawed and fragile, yet capable of greatness beyond measure. As the storm began to abate, The crew held their breath, waiting for the final verdict. The ship was battered but intact, a testament to their efforts. "We made it," Kamara said, her voice filled with awe. Elena nodded, her heart swelling with pride. They had faced the storm and emerged stronger, a testament to the human spirit's unyielding resolve. Yet, as they drifted through the void, the shadow of the rogue planet still lingered, a reminder that their journey was far from over. They had survived the storm, but the future remained uncertain, filled with challenges yet to come. For now, they savored their victory, a hard-won triumph against the darkness. They were explorers, dreamers, and survivors, united in their quest to chart the unknown. And as the stars beckoned them onward, they knew that whatever lay ahead, they would face it together, with courage and hope. For they were human, and that was their greatest strength. The rogue planet loomed ominously in the void, a celestial titan of ice and rock that had wandered the galaxy for untold millennia. Its arrival into the Sol system had been as unexpected as it was calamitous. With a trajectory that threatened Earth's fragile balance, humanity faced a challenge unlike any other. The International Space Coalition, hastily assembled to avert disaster, had thrown every conceivable resource at the problem. But the planet's immense gravitational pull had already begun to wreak havoc on Earth's tectonic stability, triggering earthquakes and tsunamis of unprecedented ferocity. In the depths of space, aboard the hastily constructed command vessel, the ISV Resolute, Captain Alara Quinn stared at the holographic display, her heart heavy with the enormity of the task. The Resolute was humanity's last hope, a mobile operations center equipped with the brightest minds and most advanced technology Earth could muster. Yet, with each passing hour, the situation grew bleaker. "Captain Quinn," the voice of Dr. Sunil Patel crackled over the intercom, pulling her from her thoughts. "We've just received the latest data feed from the Lunar Observatory. The rogue planet's trajectory has adjusted again. It appears it's accelerating." Alara closed her eyes for a moment, drawing in a steadying breath. "Understood, Dr. Patel. Convene the senior staff in the briefing room in 10 minutes. We need a new plan." In the cramped confines of the briefing room, the atmosphere was tense. The ship's core team, engineers, scientists, strategists, gathered around the central table. Holographic projections flickered above, showing simulation after simulation, each ending in catastrophe. "We're running out of time and options," Alara began, meeting the eyes of each team member in turn. "I won't sugarcoat it. This is our darkest hour. But we are not defeated. Not yet." Jiro Tanaka, the chief engineer, leaned forward, his expression resolute. "The gravitational lensing effect we observed suggests that the rogue planet has an anomalous core. If we can harness our remaining nukes to trigger a controlled detonation at a key point, we might be able to alter its trajectory enough to avoid a direct collision." Dr. Patel nodded, though his expression was grim. "It's a long shot, Captain. The margin for error is almost non-existent, and we have no guarantee that the planet's core will respond predictably. But it's a shot," Alara replied, her voice firm. "And right now, that's all we need." There was a murmur of agreement, a flicker of determination igniting in weary eyes. They began to work, each mind pushed beyond its limit, each hand working tirelessly to prepare the Resolute for the desperate mission. They were humanity's last line, the final hope standing against an unstoppable force. As the hours ticked by, the ship hummed with activity. Engineers modified the warheads, adjusting them for the unique conditions they would face. Scientists recalibrated the targeting systems, accounting for the rogue planet's erratic spin. Technicians ran simulation after simulation, seeking that elusive path to survival. In the midst of this organized chaos, Alara found herself standing before a viewport, staring out at the distant Earth, a blue and green jewel suspended in the inky blackness. She thought of the people down there, the families huddled together, the children who still laughed and played, blissfully unaware of the danger above. She thought of her own family, her parents, her sister. She thought of the world they had built, flawed yet beautiful, and she knew with unwavering clarity that surrender was not an option. The intercom crackled again, breaking the silence. "Captain, we're ready for launch," Jiro's voice announced, laced with the anticipation that gripped them all. Alara turned from the viewport, her resolve steeled. "All hands, this is the captain. We're about to embark on a mission that will decide the fate of our world. Remember what we fight for. Remember who we fight for. Let us show this rogue that humanity does not back down." The command deck was a hive of focused energy as the Resolute maneuvered into position. The vessel's engines roared to life, propelling it forward with a speed that belied its size. Around them, the void of space was vast and indifferent, a silent witness to their struggle. As they approached their target, a critical point on the rogue planet's surface, calculated with precision, the tension was palpable. The plan was risky, bordering on reckless, but it was their only chance. The warheads, now configured to exploit the planet's unusual core, were ready to be deployed. "Detonation sequence initiated," Jiro announced, his fingers dancing over the controls. "Payloads deployed in 3, 2, 1. The ship shuddered slightly as the warheads were launched, arcing gracefully through the void. On the display, they watched as the projectiles spiraled toward their target, a symphony of destruction that held the promise of salvation. "Impact in 30 seconds, Dr. Patel reported, his voice tight with anticipation. Alara stood at the helm, her heart pounding in her chest. Every second stretched into eternity, a countdown to either triumph or oblivion. Then, the screen flared with light as the warheads impacted the rogue planet's surface, the detonation a brilliant cascade of energy radiating outward. The ship's sensors struggled to keep up with the chaotic energies unleashed in that moment. Reading significant destabilization in the core, Jiro announced, his voice barely containing his excitement. Trajectory shift confirmed, but wait, his voice faltered as the readings updated. The rogue planet, though shifted, was still on a collision course with Earth. The margin of error had been too great. The planet's path, though altered, still spelled doom. A heavy silence descended, the weight of failure pressing down on them all. For an agonizing moment, hope seemed lost. But then, in that suffocating darkness, the light of human spirit flickered anew. A spark of defiance, a refusal to yield. "All right," Alara said, her voice steady and unyielding. "If the first blow wasn't enough, we'll hit it again. We still have resources. We still have time. We will find another way." Her words were a lifeline, pulling them from the abyss. Around her, the crew straightened, determination hardening their features. They would not surrender. They would not go quietly into the night. "There's another factor we haven't fully considered," Dr. Patel spoke up, his mind racing through possibilities. "The planet's magnetic field. It's been fluctuating since the detonation. If we can harness the magnetic resonance, we might be able to guide it further off course," Jiro finished, catching on to the idea. "It's a delicate operation, but if we can time it with another detonation, then let's get to work," Alara commanded, a fierce determination in her eyes. "We have a world to save." As the team sprang into action, each member contributing their expertise to the new plan, the rogue planet continued its inexorable approach. But now, armed with renewed hope and a relentless will, humanity stood ready to defy the odds once more. The Resolute, battered but unbroken, set course for the next phase of their mission, a testament to the indomitable spirit of those who refused to give up, even when the universe itself seemed to conspire against them. And as they prepared for this final gambit, the seeds of a human resurgence were planted, ready to blossom into a force that could change the course of destiny. The breaking point was near, where everything would change, and in that crucible of adversity, the true strength of humanity would be revealed. In the cold expanse of space, the rogue planet loomed. It was a celestial body of impossible size, a mass of swirling gases and chaotic elements that had wandered the void for eons. Humanity had been aware of its approach for decades, and as it neared the outer reaches of the solar system, the collective tension was palpable. For the planet was not alone. It was accompanied by the Harbingers, enigmatic entities of ancient origins, who saw the rogue planet as a herald of doom for Earth. The Harbingers had long watched over the rogue planet, steering it through the cosmos with a purpose known only to them. As the planet approached, humanity's first interactions with the Harbingers had been marked by conflict and confusion. Their technology was eons beyond our own, their intentions inscrutable. To them, humanity was an insignificant and transient species, a minor obstacle in the grand design of the universe. Yet in the face of this overwhelming threat, humanity did what it does best. It adapted, it innovated, it persevered. On Earth, scientists, engineers, and dreamers from every nation worked tirelessly, driven by a shared purpose. They pooled their knowledge, their resources, and above all, their courage. Their creation was the Phoenix Initiative, a daring plan to harness the rogue planet's own energy against it and turn the tide. The Harbingers had underestimated humanity's resolve. As the rogue planet drew nearer, it became increasingly clear that the humans would not simply stand by and watch their world be consumed. The tide began to shift. In the shadow of the approaching giant, the Phoenix Initiative moved forward with grim determination. The plan was audacious: to deploy a network of satellites capable of harnessing and redirecting the rogue planet's immense magnetic fields. This would create a surge of energy so powerful it could alter the planet's trajectory, steering it harmlessly away from Earth. The Harbingers observed from their vantage points, their forms shimmering in the unfiltered sunlight. They had seen many worlds fall before the rogue planet's path. They had not anticipated that this small blue planet would be any different. But as the Phoenix Initiative's launch sequence commenced, they began to see the first signs that perhaps these humans were not as insignificant as they had thought. On the ground, Dr. Alara Voss, the lead scientist of the Phoenix Initiative, stood alongside her team as they prepared for the launch. Her eyes were set on the sky, her mind racing with calculations and contingencies. She knew the risks, the stakes, but also the potential for success. They had one chance, one shot to prove that humanity was more than what the Harbingers perceived. The countdown echoed through the control center, a rhythmic chant that synchronized the beating hearts of all present. At 0, the first wave of satellites roared into the sky, their sleek forms disappearing into the vastness above. The world watched as streams of fiery propulsion marked their ascent, each one a testament to human ingenuity and the indomitable spirit of survival. As the satellites reached their positions, they began to hum with a resonant energy. The rogue planet's magnetic field was immense, chaotic, but the satellites were designed to harness this very chaos. They began to siphon the energy, redirecting it in a controlled surge that rippled through the void. The Harbingers, witnessing this unfolding spectacle, exchanged signals of concern. They had calculated every variable, every possible outcome, and yet this was unanticipated. The humans were not fighting with brute strength alone. They were manipulating the very forces of the universe with a finesse that demanded respect. On board the command ship, Captain Julian Cross monitored the satellite array's output. His crew was tense but focused, their eyes darting between screens displaying streams of data and the unfolding cosmic ballet outside. Each moment was critical, every decision a balance between risk and potential. "Trajectory alteration beginning," announced a voice through the comms. "Initiating Phase 2. With precise coordination, the satellites intensified their output, the redirected energy now forming a web of pulsating arcs. These arcs interwove, creating a barrier that began to nudge the rogue planet's path. It was subtle at first, a mere fraction of a degree. But in the vast distances of space, even the smallest shift could mean the difference between salvation and destruction. As the rogue planet's path began to curve, the Harbingers felt a flicker of uncertainty. They had considered themselves the shepherds of this cosmic event, but now the humans had taken the reins. Their ancient arrogance began to crack, revealing the first inklings of doubt. On Earth, the world held its breath. Cities paused, their streets silent as people watched screens and listened to broadcasts. In that moment, Humanity was united in purpose, a single heartbeat echoing across continents. "We have deviation," came the voice from the command ship, a note of triumph threading through the tension. "Trajectory is shifting." Captain Cross allowed himself a brief smile. It was working. The rogue planet's course was changing. The Phoenix Initiative proving that humanity's reach extended beyond what even they had dared to dream. Dr. Voss stood at the forefront of the control center, her hands gripping the edge of the console. She could feel the vibrations of energy through the floor, a tangible manifestation of human achievement. They had done it. They had turned technology into hope, science into salvation. But the battle was not yet over. The Harbingers, realizing the gravity of their miscalculation, began to respond. Their ships moved into formation, sleek and otherworldly, as they prepared to disrupt the satellite array. Yet in their haste, they overlooked the core strength of humanity, its ability to adapt, to improvise. As the alien ships approached, a new plan emerged among the humans. The Phoenix Initiative shifted from pure defense to a daring offense. Using the very energy lines they had created, they devised a way to project electromagnetic pulses, disrupting the Harbinger's technology. "Prepare for EMP discharge," Captain Cross ordered, his voice steady. "Let's give them a taste of our ingenuity." With a coordinated effort, the satellites unleashed a wave of electromagnetic pulses. The pulses danced across the void, striking the Harbinger ships with precision. Their advanced systems faltered, their sleek forms flickering as they struggled to maintain cohesion. The humans had turned the Harbinger's own strength against them, a tactical maneuver that revealed the true depth of human ingenuity. It was a demonstration not just of technological prowess, but of the courage and creativity that had defined humanity's journey through the stars. As the Harbingers reeled from the unexpected assault, the rogue planet continued its altered course. The shift was now undeniable, the planet's path veering away from Earth. Humanity had achieved the impossible, not through brute force, but through innovation and unity. The victory was not without cost, but it was a testament to the indomitable spirit of those who had refused to bow to fate. In that moment, the humans had shown the universe that they were not to be underestimated, that they were a force capable of defying the odds and reshaping the cosmos with sheer will and ingenuity. The Harbingers, their arrogance tempered by newfound respect, retreated to the edges of the rogue planet's influence. They had witnessed the emergence of a species that could challenge the very order of the universe, and in that realization lay a profound shift in perspective. On Earth, the celebrations began. Across the globe, people rejoiced, their voices rising in a chorus of relief and triumph. They had faced the brink of extinction and emerged stronger, more united than ever before. In the control center, Dr. Voss allowed herself a moment of quiet reflection. She knew the journey was not yet over, that the cosmos held countless mysteries and challenges yet to be faced. But in that moment, she felt a deep sense of pride and hope for what humanity could achieve. Captain Cross watched as the Harbingers retreated, his heart filled with a sense of fulfillment. They had shown the universe what it meant to be human, to defy the odds, to challenge the impossible, and to emerge victorious. As the rogue planet continued on its new path, the echoes of humanity's triumph reverberated across the stars. It was a turning point, not just in the battle against the Harbingers, but in humanity's place in the cosmos. They were no longer merely inhabitants of Earth. They were explorers, innovators, and guardians of their own destiny. In the wake of their victory, humanity looked to the stars with renewed purpose. They had faced the void and found their strength, and now the universe awaited their next great adventure. The rogue planet, once a harbinger of doom, had become a symbol of hope and resilience, a testament to the power of the human spirit. And so, with the rogue planet receding into the depths of space, the world turned its gaze forward, ready to embrace the challenges and wonders yet to come. The Harbingers, now witnesses to humanity's potential, would never again underestimate the indomitable force that was Earth. As the Starlight Endeavor approached the rogue planet, the vessel cut through the void with a determined grace, a testament to the ingenuity and tenacity of its creators. The mission had been deemed impossible by many, a fool's errand to capture and redirect a planet adrift in the cosmos. But humanity had always been drawn to the impossible, driven by the challenge and the thrill of the unknown. As the starship drew closer, the crew aboard was ready to defy the odds, to turn skepticism into awe. Captain Elise Tran stood at the helm, her eyes fixed on the massive sphere of rock and ice that loomed ahead. She felt the weight of history upon her shoulders, and she was ready to etch humanity's name into the stars. Around her, the bridge was a hive of activity, each crew member a vital cog in the intricate machine of their mission. Engineers, scientists, and strategists all worked in harmony, their minds synced as one, their hearts beating to the rhythm of purpose. "Status report," Elise called, her voice steady and clear, cutting through the ambient hum of the ship. "All systems are green, Captain," reported Lieutenant Commander Raj Patel, his fingers dancing over the controls with practiced precision. "Trajectory calculations are locked in. We're on course to intercept. Commencing final approach procedures," added Dr. Lena Sato, the ship's chief astrophysicist, her eyes alight with the fire of discovery. "The gravitational harness is primed and ready for deployment." Elise nodded, a surge of pride swelling within her. They were ready, more than ready, to seize this moment. Humanity had come together like never before, pooling their collective knowledge and resources to tackle this Herculean task. Nations that once stood divided now shared in common purpose, united by the dream of what lay beyond. As the rogue planet grew ever larger in the viewports, the crew felt the first tremors of its gravitational pull. The sensation was both exhilarating and terrifying, a reminder of the formidable challenge they faced. But fear had no place here, only resolve and courage remained. "Activate the harness," Elise commanded, her voice unwavering, filled with the steel of conviction. With surgical precision, the ship's systems came alive, deploying the gravitational harness, a marvel of engineering that had been theorized for decades but never before attempted on such a scale. The device unfurled like a magnificent celestial net, its filaments shimmering with energy, reaching out to embrace the rogue planet. Anticipation crackled through the air as the harness latched onto the planet, its grip firm and unyielding. The bridge erupted into cheers, but the celebration was short-lived. The true test lay ahead. As the ship held the rogue planet in its grasp, the crew began the delicate process of altering its trajectory. This was the moment of truth, the culmination of years of research and sacrifice. Humanity's greatest minds had plotted and calculated every variable, every potential outcome, but now it was up to them to execute the plan with perfection. "Initiate the course correction," Elise ordered, her gaze unflinching. The engines roared to life, channeling immense power through the harness. The ship strained against the forces at play, a titan wrestling with a celestial behemoth. The tension was palpable, the outcome uncertain. Yet, the crew worked in unison, their focus unbreakable, their determination resolute. As the seconds stretched into minutes, the rogue planet began to yield to their will. Slowly, imperceptibly at first, it altered its course, bending to the indomitable spirit of those who dared to dream. The crew watched in breathless anticipation, their hearts beating in sync with the pulse of the universe. And then, it happened. The rogue planet, once a harbinger of chaos and destruction, now danced to humanity's tune, its path redirected towards safety. It was a moment of triumph, a testament to what could be achieved when humanity set aside its differences and embraced its potential. Tears of joy and relief flowed freely as the crew celebrated, their voices rising in a jubilant chorus that echoed through the corridors of the ship. Elise allowed herself a moment to savor their victory, her heart swelling with pride for her crew, for humanity. But amidst the celebration, a shadow loomed, a reminder of those who had sought to hinder their progress. The rogue planet had been a prize coveted by a rival faction, one that had underestimated humanity's resolve and capability. The alien observers, hidden in the shadowy fringes of the system, watched in disbelief as the humans achieved the impossible. Their calculations had been meticulous, their strategies flawless, yet they had never accounted for the tenacity and ingenuity of their human adversaries. In that moment, they realized their catastrophic misjudgment, the extent of their folly laid bare. As the alien commanders conferred in hushed tones, their minds reeled with the implications of their failure. They had underestimated the humans, seen them as primitive and fractured. But now, they were forced to confront the truth. Humanity was a force to be reckoned with, a beacon of hope and possibility that shone brightly in the darkness. The Starlight Endeavor, now a symbol of human excellence, turned its gaze towards the alien presence. The crew, emboldened by their success, knew they had the upper hand. They had proven their worth, not just to themselves but to the universe at large. "Open a channel to the alien fleet," Elise commanded, her voice carrying the authority of victory. The communication link crackled to life, and Elise addressed the alien commanders with calm confidence. "To those who doubted us, who sought to challenge our resolve, know this: humanity stands united. We have faced the impossible and emerged triumphant. We are not to be underestimated." The words hung in the air, a challenge and a promise. As the alien commanders listened, they understood the gravity of their error. They had underestimated not just the humans' capability, but their spirit, their unyielding drive to overcome any obstacle. In the silence that followed, Elise knew the message had been received. The aliens, once confident in their superiority, now recognized the strength and resilience of the human spirit. With the rogue planet safely redirected, humanity had once again proven its worth, its place among the stars secured. The mission was a victory not just for those aboard the Starlight Endeavor, but for all of humanity, a testament to what could be achieved when the impossible became possible. As the ship turned its course back towards Earth, the crew basked in the glow of their hard-won triumph, their hearts filled with hope and possibility. They had conquered the stars, and in doing so, had secured humanity's place among them. The universe was vast and full of challenges yet to come, but the crew knew they were ready to face them, united as one, driven by the dream of a brighter future. And as the Starlight Endeavor sailed through the cosmos, leaving a trail of inspiration in its wake, humanity's journey continued. A journey of discovery, of triumph, and of excellence. As the rogue planet, dubbed Perseverance, settled into its newfound orbit around the sun, the galaxy seemed to hold its breath, awash in a sense of something monumental and historic. Humanity's victory over the impending doom wasn't just a triumph of survival. It was a testament to their indomitable spirit, showcasing their ability to unify in the face of insurmountable odds and to defy the very fabric of the universe. On Earth, the morning sun poured through the windows of a bustling command center, its light casting long shadows across the room where scientists, engineers, and world leaders gathered in celebration. The room was filled with a lively buzz, a symphony of relief and triumph. Emma Chen, the mission's lead astrophysicist, stood surrounded by her team. Her face bore the marks of sleepless nights, but her eyes were alight with an inner fire. "Emma, we did it," whispered Dr. Samuel Ortiz, her longtime colleague and friend. "I can't believe it. We actually did it." Emma turned to him, her expression softening from the determined resolve she'd worn for months. "I always believed we could," she replied, her voice steady. "Humanity has always been at its best when everything is at stake." The room's large screen displayed a live feed of Perseverance, now a distant yet permanent addition to Earth's night sky. The rogue planet's surface shimmered with a kaleidoscope of colors, its atmosphere slowly warming under the sun's rays, a newborn world in the making. Meanwhile, aboard the ISS Resilience, Captain Michael Jensen floated in the observation module, watching the planet with a mix of awe and nostalgia. The gravity of their accomplishment was not lost on him. He thought of his crewmates, each having played a crucial role in the mission's success. His thoughts drifted to Alana Torres, the brilliant systems engineer who had devised the crucial plan to harness the gravitational pull of the moon to adjust Perseverance's course. Her ingenuity had turned theory into reality. "Captain, you should see this," Alana's voice crackled over the comms. "We're getting data from Perseverance's surface. The terraforming systems are online, and it's working." Michael smiled, a rare vulnerability touching his usually stoic features. "I knew you'd pull it off, Alana. You've given this world a chance to thrive." Back on Earth, the victory's impact rippled through societies. Nations that had once been at odds found common ground in their shared survival. Borders seemed less significant now, as humanity had faced extinction and come together to ensure a future. A new era of collaboration dawned, and with it, an unprecedented exchange of knowledge and resources. In classrooms across the planet, children learned about the mission, their imaginations ignited by tales of courage and innovation. Young minds were inspired to look to the stars, not with fear, but with wonder and aspiration. In the heart of New York City, amidst the cacophony of honking cars and bustling pedestrians, Dr. Vanessa Eldridge, the psychologist who had overseen the mission's psychosocial aspects, gave a lecture to a packed auditorium. She spoke of the resilience of the human spirit, how the mission had redefined what it meant to be united as a species. "We were given a chance to see ourselves not just as individuals or nations, but as one people," Vanessa said, her words resonating with a profound truth. "We've learned that our greatest strength lies in our ability to come together." As the applause filled the room, Vanessa knew that the real victory was not just in averting disaster, but in the transformative power of shared purpose. In the months that followed, Perseverance became a symbol of hope and renewal. Its presence in the night sky was a constant reminder of what humanity could achieve. It was a beacon calling out to the cosmos, proclaiming that Earth was ready to take its place among the stars. The scientific community thrived, launching initiatives to study Perseverance and its potential to support life. New technologies emerged, inspired by the breakthroughs made during the mission. Humanity was on the cusp of a golden age of exploration and discovery, driven by a newfound confidence that anything was possible. In a quiet corner of the command center, Emma found a moment to reflect. Her journey had been one of relentless pursuit, of belief in the impossible. She thought of her father, who had instilled in her the love for the stars. "Dad, we did it," she whispered to the sky, feeling his presence in the warmth of the sun. Emma's thoughts were interrupted by a call from her daughter, Lily, whose voice bubbled with excitement. "Mom, did you see the planet? It's so beautiful. I want to visit it one day." Emma chuckled, her heart swelling with pride. "You will, sweetheart, you will." The mission had changed Emma, reaffirming her faith in humanity. She had witnessed the power of unity and had been part of a turning point in human history. Her legacy was not just in the scientific achievement, but in the hope and inspiration seeded in generations to come. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Perseverance emerged in the twilight, a new star in Earth's sky. People gathered to watch, their faces upturned in awe. The planet's presence was a nightly reminder of their collective strength, a testament to human ingenuity and the unyielding will to survive. The world had been forever changed by this encounter with the rogue planet. Humanity had not only saved itself but had also forged a path to the stars, propelled by the spirit of exploration and the dream of what lay beyond. In this pivotal moment, the people of Earth embraced their identity as cosmic pioneers. The universe had thrown down a gauntlet, and humanity had risen to the challenge, leaving an indelible mark on the cosmos. The journey to Perseverance was just beginning. As humanity looked to the future, they did so with open hearts and daring minds, ready to reach for the stars and beyond. In the face of adversity, they had discovered what it truly meant to be human, to hope, to strive, and to triumph together. And so, under the vast expanse of the night sky, with Perseverance shining brightly above, the story of human resilience and unity continued. A beacon of light in the eternal dance of the cosmos, as humanity prepared to write the next chapter of their cosmic odyssey.